Welcome to Australian Hunger. This is another bonus episode following up on our download preview. Download is gone, finished, happened, we were there. So this is our download review show. I am, of course, joined again by Ellen.
Hello.
Ellen Rosie, who writes for Beat, does radio on Sin, the Mosh Pit show. And yeah, Ellen, how are we doing?
I am doing so good. Thank you, Ben, for having me again. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So download was a week ago. We were recording on a Sunday.
Right.
Download was on the Monday. So Ellen, why don't you give me a rundown of your day?
So I rocked up at around 1:15 and I had a media pass. So I went straight to the desk to collect my pass, and then there was a guest line. So I didn't have to stand in the general line, which actually wasn't really that long, which was okay. But I went into the guest line, which I got to walk straight in, which was really good. And then I actually met you. I mean, first I went into the slaves tent, and because one of my other friends was in the slaves tent.
Yeah, the avalanche stage.
Yeah, the avalanche
Not
stage.
The slave tent.
Yeah, that sounded a bit weird. I mean, the avalanche stage, which was in a tent where the band Slaves was performing. That was the end of their set. I actually wanted to see them, but yeah, I didn't end up staying for them. I ended up finding you instead. And then, so I found you, and then I had my picture taken with the download dog inside the dog's mouth. However, you didn't get the eyes of the dog. You only got the mouth, but it's okay.
I don't know. As I put on all my Instagrams, podcaster, not photographer. So you took that risk when you gave me the camera.
That's true. And then after Slaves, I saw Fever 333. They were really good. They were one of my favorites for the day. They were full of energy. The lead singer went through the crowd, climbed up on a set piece up the back of the stage, and he didn't have a cordless mic, so the microphone literally went over the top of the crowd all the way up to the back of the room, which was quite intense. And then there was during that set, there was a girl in a wheelchair who a few men lifted up. And she was cheering and stuff, and everyone was cheering for her and everything. And then at the end, the lead guitarist climbed up the side of the stage, so they were really big on climbing stage pieces. Climbed up the top of the stage and played his guitar solo up on the top of the stage. And then at the end, he dropped his guitar down, it banged on the ground, and everyone cheered. So it was quite a big ending. And then I saw Frenzal Rhomb, and they were pretty good. They were actually no. Then I saw Converge. Sorry, Converge. I didn't really get into that much. I enjoyed the music, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite. They were okay. Then I saw Frenzal Rhomb, and I really enjoyed them. They're classic Melbourne punk rock.
I don't think they are classic Melbourne punk rock. They're fucking weirdos.
They're from Melbourne. They're classic punk rock from Melbourne.
They're not classic though. They're doing weirdo avant-garde stuff as well, screaming as well.
Yeah, well,
weird sort of song changes.
I don't know. I thought that they were classic, and I thought that they were good. I enjoyed them. They were funny as well. Then they put Polaris, Pennywise, and Alice in Chains on at the same time.
Yeah, before we get to the sort of end of the show,
okay,
I want to run through mine.
Okay,
because we both saw Alice in Chains.
Yeah, and then we split. We went separate ways after that.
Yeah, so I'll go through mine, then we'll come back and discuss Alice in Chains. So I got there straight up to support some of the Australian sort of heavier, I don't know, more traditionally heavier. Although I don't know. I called Voyager traditionally heavy. I don't know that's true, but they sort of fit more neatly into the metal category. But whatever. So Voyager was really cool. It was really good seeing them on a massive stage because that's basically never going to happen with a band like that. just because they're slightly too niche.
Yeah, they're on one of the main stages.
Yeah, they're on Red Stage, first band on Red Stage. And, it was really good to see the whole kind of community get out there early for a band which, is a little bit more different, a proggier band. So that was really fun. Obviously at that sort of time of the day you don't get that much crowd involvement, but it's just good to have everyone there sort of cheering, getting into it.
That's good.
Feeling it a little bit chill. Then I saw Ruins actually sort of split the difference because there was a 10-minute overlap, so I thought I'd split the difference in 5 minutes of the overlap with Voyager, 5 minutes with Ruins. Ruins really cool. It's sort of black metal band with kind of rockier elements thrown into it. Really, really cool band. Dave Haley from Tasmania, known for Psychroptic as the drummer. Really, really enjoyable band to see. I've actually interviewed them before. So, really, really great band. Because they're basically a two-piece, so it's really cool to see them, I think, expand out for a live show. And then after that, Behemoth. Behemoth were really fun. Really cool show.
I heard they were really good.
Yeah, multiple costume changes, which is nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they came out and they played. I think it was an instrumental song, or maybe it was a proper song. And they were wearing masks, and then they got rid of the masks, and then Nagal, the lead singer and rhythm guitarist, I think he is. He sort of changed his hat a few times.
Oh, really? Didn't they have fire in their set as well?
Yeah, they did have fire. And they also sort of put some blood on themselves as well, which is cool. Bit of a more representing the extreme side of metal on the day, which, was really good to see. But yeah, it's funny. I don't know if a band like that translates as well as it does to playing a show like at 10 o'clock at night in a dark room. I think
like Max Watts or something.
Yeah, like Max Watts. What is it?
Corner
Billboard.
Hotel.
Yeah, Corner Hotel. Any basically place which is a little bit dark. It's got an enclosed space. I think they translate really well to those kind of spaces because there's a bit more an atmosphere. The sound kind of bounces around a bit more, and it's just like.
That's why they always have them at those venues.
Yeah, exactly, and they were really, really cool, really enjoyable. See them play, "I'll Fire in the Void," "Blow Your Trumpets, Gabriel." Those classic songs. But I felt like, especially with a band like that, it's missing a bit. I think actually it's probably kind of missing in a lot of bands, except for maybe some of the more sort of stadium kind of bands like an Alice in Chains. I was going to say let's get to Alice in Chains, but I forgot. I also, for a moment, was at Anthrax, and I got really bored. I don't know whether I think it might be. I think it's Joey Belladonna. His vocals just bore the shit out of me because they're like halfway between a thrash vocalist and like a heavy metal vocalist. That doesn't do either particularly well.
You knew that going in, and you said you had some reservations about going and seeing them anyway.
Yeah, totally. But I just I don't mind it that much on the music. I'm not a big fan of Anthrax. But yeah, it just didn't feel like it translated well. But you wouldn't have seen it because I don't think you were watching Anthrax.
No.
But he had one of those mics where it's got the mic and then it's got like a stick. It's not a stand, it's like a stick. So it can sort of hold the mic up at the mic and then sort of down near his waist at the bottom of the kind of stick.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool actually because it means he can hold it over the crowd with ease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was a nice touch. But yeah, I didn't stay for that long to be honest because I was getting very kind of bored.
Yeah.
And then while you were at Frenzal Rhomb, I lay down for a little bit just to chill out because there's no one particular I wanted to see. I probably should have actually taken a gander at Alien Weaponry.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go see them.
Yeah, I totally forgot about them unfortunately. But I was actually laying down in earshot with them, and they sounded quite heavy for a kind of a very young three-piece. So that was really cool. But getting to the crux of the matters.
Yeah, well, after Frenzal Rhomb, I actually wanted to see Rise Against, but then
we kind of saw them at a distance.
Yeah, we sort of saw them at a distance, and the thing about them is I have seen them before when they opened for Foo Fighters in 2015, which is actually the shirt that I'm wearing. But anyway, yeah, they played, I know like one song of theirs, and I thought that they had played it earlier on, but then I thought I heard their song that I knew later on, so I was like...
You kind of get that with some of the sort of punk rocky bands.
Yeah, a lot of their songs sound similar. And, but yeah, we sort of listened to them from a distance, and then when it came for Alice in Chains, we walked past the Avalanche stage, which was the tent stage. And I remember hearing them, and I remember thinking, hey, this is a punk rock band. I should be seeing them. And then I looked at like my schedule and I saw that it was Pennywise. I'm like, I wanted to see Pennywise. And they put them on at the same time as Alice in Chains.
Well, they actually started 10 minutes before, so if you'd scheduled properly.
Yeah, but 10 minutes, do you know what I mean? It's not enough.
I'm really kidding.
So I ended up, I walked past them. I didn't see Polaris at all. And then, because I was interested in seeing them. Then we got our spot at Alice in Chains. I feel like Alice in Chains, I've been going around telling people that it was the best moment of my life, seeing Alice in Chains live. I was so into it. Like, I even got out my phone and was like recording like parts of songs and stuff. And I know like people at like rock concerts and metal concerts, like you shouldn't record, you know, but I wasn't recording like the whole songs. I was just recording bits of it. But it was so exciting, like seeing like the band members, Jerry Cantrell and Sean Kinney and Mike Inez and William Duval walk out on stage. It was pretty exciting. And they came out to like Bleed the Freak, which is from Facelift. And then they played Check My Brain, which is from Black Gives Way to Blue. And then they played like one or two other songs from their new albums, but like majority of the songs were from their old albums, right? And yeah, I really liked it when they had like Man in the Box, Wood, and Rooster. Everyone was like shouting out the lyrics, which was really cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of crowd getting into some of the, you know, even verses, but particularly choruses. Of some
yeah.
Of the, I think it might have been Dirt and Alice in Chains songs.
Dirt is an Alice in Chains album.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's a song as well.
Those two albums in particular, I think, was...
okay, yeah. Well, even when they came out to Bleed the Freak, like, that's such a good song. And they played a couple of songs I thought was a bit... From Dirt, they played Them Bones and Rain When I Die. Didn't they play Them Bones and then Rain When I Die?
Can't remember.
I think they did. They played them two back to back. And then... they sang Down in a Hole and No Excuses. They played like so many songs that I love, and it was so exciting. And at one point, like Mike Inez, the bass player, like walked out to the right side of the stage, or I guess when he was facing his stage left. Yeah, his left. And he was like, you know, sort of playing towards those people. And apparently Dean was standing on that side, so he was like, right, had that view. But did you notice that Jerry, the lead guitarist, and Mike, the bassist, swapped sides of the stage between a whole bunch of songs? I thought that was interesting. Yeah,
some of the more professional bands, they kind of know that there's something intrinsic about stage movement that kind of makes it a good show. So yeah, they'll walk around a bit.
Yeah, but no, it like literally seemed like rehearsed routine, which obviously would be that they swapped sides of the stage like between every song or two. Which I thought was interesting. And remember when it was like the last song and Jerry said this song is about a chicken and everyone laughed?
No, William said this song is about a chicken and Jerry said no, it's not.
I thought it was Jerry that said this song is about a chicken.
I think William was joking this song is about a chicken. And Jerry's like, no, it's not.
No, I thought it was Jerry that said that.
No, my recollection is William.
We have different ideas of what happened.
We'll have to check the play-by-play.
Yeah. But they finished with Rooster. Such a good song. Like all of their songs, like since seeing them again, I've gone back and re-listened to like MTV Unplugged and like the Dirt album, and all of those songs are so good. Love Alice in Chains. So they were like definitely my favorite band of the day. And then I saw Sum 41, which they're like a pop punk band, and I used to listen to them a lot when I was like 17. So like them, it like would have made my 17-year-old self like super happy. But like I didn't really like the crowd that much because I had like people pushing me over and people bumping into me and stuff. I mean, which happens at gigs, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. But like the band was alright. They had like a Pink Floyd cover and of Another Brick in the Wall, and they also had, you know how some bands tell them to turn the lights down, everyone get your phones out? They did that, which was pretty cool. And then, yeah, after that, I hanged around till the end, but I didn't really watch any other bands. I just sort of chilled by myself. But then I walked up to the side of the Slayer stage for a bit, but it's just like I I didn't know any Slayer songs, or I don't know the other band songs, so I was just like hanging out by myself.
Mm. So you're totally right about Alice in Chains. Like there's a thing that happens with bands that they kind of lose awareness just because they're celebrities, they're kind of famous, they lose touch with what people want. But like they totally nailed it and like what people want. Like, you know, people want, and generally they've got some decent new songs, but like people really connect to those old songs. They're really resonant.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, people love these old songs. Let's play them.
They're all so great. Like their old albums. Yeah, they're all really good. Yeah, I mean, like, have you heard? I know they didn't like. Have you listened to MTV Unplugged?
No, I've not.
You should listen to it. It's really great. Like Lane and Jerry's like vocals like bounce off each other really well, and especially since that was like an acoustic setting, it's really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. So that they mixed it up a lot. William came out with an acoustic guitar for one of the songs.
Yeah, that's true.
A couple of songs he put the guitar away and was just doing him singing solo. Well, not him singing solo, but he was just using the microphone, and Jerry was just playing guitar for some of the sort of heavier songs that kind of didn't necessarily need an accompaniment. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I thought that when they sang "Down in a Hole" and you know how it's like "I want to fly," and he was like opening his arms. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a disposable camera, and this girl came up to me and she's like, "I love your camera." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
But in contrast to that, Judas Priest. So, like, I got different feels about this. So, first up, they didn't play a lot of songs that I would have wanted them to play, which, you know, is hard because they got a lot of songs.
Yeah.
But, like, I haven't gone back and checked which albums are from, but, like, yeah, they didn't play anything from Sad Wings of Destiny, which shatters me, which I'm not sure is because Rob Halford can't quite nail them. But yeah, they played like 2 songs off their new album, which, like, really, when you're a classic band like that, fine if you're at a show promoting the album, but this is a festival, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just seemed a bit off. Rob Halford, though, like he can't quite hit everything, so especially some of the high notes. He can't quite nail the album sound, but damn, he still has an amazing set of pipes on him.
Yeah, I was talking to Dean on Mosh Pit the other night. We're doing a review of Download as well, and he saw Judas Priest, and he said that Rob Halford is like getting up there in age, but that he's still like amazing, incredible to like watch, and he's like a great performer.
Oh yeah, he's great before. It's funny though, he's because he's old. Like he's legit old. He's not just like getting up there. He's old. The way he walks around the stage, he's got those old man feels.
Oh really?
Like he walks around like an old guy.
That's funny.
But it's weird because he's got like tattoos on his head, and he's got like this sort of vaguely open shirt, this leather vest.
Yeah, that's funny.
And like he had like sparkly clothes sometimes. So like, but like he can still put on a hell of a show.
Yeah,
he can still do a hell of a show, which is really impressive, considering just like. He is one of the most impressive vocalists in heavy metal ever. Like, ever. Have we listened to Sad Wings of Destiny together?
I don't think we have.
We should do that at some stage, because it's just an incredible album. Like, some of the vocals on it is just absolutely amazing. It's so... Like, it's kind of set the template, set the bar for all people who follow him to meet.
The only Judas Priest song that I've actually listened to is Breaking the Law.
Yeah, which comes from the sort of later period where like it's more rocky, and he sort of has a more mid-range sort of approach to a lot of the songs.
Yeah,
like it still comes through how like crisp, how like precise he is on those albums, but like it doesn't feature the sort of incredible range that he actually possesses. Yeah, so that was like it was a really great show. They had incredible performers, but like I just. And like Rob Halford, fine. Like he can't quite meet some of those. He's still incredible to watch, incredible to listen to. That's all good by me. That's fine. But like, yeah, I just didn't feel like they've got so many great songs that I just didn't get a feel like they were playing some of the real songs that me and other fans would have liked them to play. Which
Well, a lot of bands do that. Like I recently saw Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they played. I mean, the thing is interesting about them. is that I looked at their set list from different cities and they really mixed it up at every city.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of big bands will play the same set list at every show, but they really like mixed it up a whole lot. It's one of the cities didn't even get Under the Bridge, you know, their big song Under the Bridge. One city in Australia didn't get that song, and I'm just like, well, that sucks for them.
That's the thing. Like, bands are like, oh, we like to mix it up, but like, guys, people are paying you for.
They want to see and hear the songs that they love.
Like, it's fair enough. You say like we need to mix things up. We're not a jukebox.
Yeah.
But like, people, there are songs that fundamentally people will be fucking shattered if you don't play.
That's why
you owe them to that as your fans. Like, you really do.
Well, when I've seen Coldplay, they always play Yellow, and that's from their first album.
Yeah, totally. They're like, yep. They're like, you know, bands should feel a lot of freedom to do what they do, and fans, I think, should try and support them as much as they can. But like, fundamentally, bands do owe fans certain things.
I don't think they owe fans anything.
No, but like, especially when you're paying money specifically.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes me annoyed when I pay money and a lot of money to see bands is when they don't like thank people for coming. No, but I mean, like, you spend a lot of money to go and see them. The least they could do is just thank people for coming. Do you know what I mean?
They just play a show for you.
No, but like,
I don't really care, to be honest, about any of those things.
In terms of like bands not playing like the big songs that people want to hear, Nirvana didn't play Smells Like Teen Spirit at a lot of their shows. When they did MTV Unplugged, they barely played any of their hit songs. They played a lot of their non-hit songs plus covers. And they had like a hype about having like special guests on the show, and everyone thought it was going to be like one of the big grunge artists like Eddie Vedder or something like that. But it was like just this local band that they were friends with. They had as guest stars. Radiohead have done the same thing. They wouldn't play Creep.
That's so fucking wanky. Like, honestly, like I totally get it. Like, you as a band don't want to feel stifled, but like, you owe something to your fans, and that's not.
Can you imagine an acoustic version of "Smells Like Teen Spirit"? Though I don't think it would have translated very well.
Yeah, clever people can find really interesting ways of expressing things.
I still think that their MTV Unplugged worked out well, even though they didn't play those big songs.
Are we discussing?
Everyone should go and watch MTV Unplugged.
You mentioned 2 MTV Unplugged.
They're good. I mean, we're talking about Alice in Chains, and their MTV Unplugged is really good. So you should go and listen to that, and then the Nirvana one.
Does anyone get the impression Ellen likes grunge? All right, let's move on to Slayer. Let's bring this baby home.
Well, this is going to be mainly you talking.
It is. You're going to see them. So Slayer, like, first up. So there's a podcast I listen to called Basogum, and one of the guys, they went to see Slayer a while back on their farewell tour, and one of the guys specifically made the point, Damien Master, he made the point that they opened up with a track from their new album, and that's just like a fucking weird way to do things. And I totally agree. Totally sucked a lot of oxygen out of the room. Not that it didn't immediately come back, but like, people are hyped to see Slayer, not because of the new album. No one really cares that much about the new album, but they're really hyped about, you know, seeing Slayer, seeing their old stuff. Like, realistically,
Raining Blood.
Oh yeah, well, Raining.
It's like the only song I know.
But yeah, so that totally sucked it. But
Seasons of the Abyss or something.
You're naming albums. That's fine.
Okay, never mind.
But Raining Blood is a song.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, totally. Yeah, amazing show. Really awesome. I don't usually talk about this, but the lights I thought were really effective, because they gave it kind of an otherworldly perspective, because it sort of just bathed them in different colours, like blue, green, red. I think that really suited it. Fire was used particularly well to emphasise songs like Hell Waits. That was a really nice touch. Yeah, really, really amazing show. I don't know if I can really say much apart from that. Like, they played basically all the songs that you want them to play, so there can't be any complaints about that. Absolutely great performance. Tom Araya still, like, I don't think he can't hit those high notes like he can on like Angel of Death, but like, he still is an amazing vocal performance. Like, I know it's not like a particularly rarefied vocal style, but he still delivers incredibly well. Yeah. I know what else I can say apart from that, but it's interesting because it's their farewell tour, and so they're sort of saying goodbye. And Tom Araya sort of stood on stage for like 10 minutes and sort of wandered around
I noticed
stage.
that because I was sitting at the front of the merch desk, like by myself, waiting for you to come back. And then all of a sudden, like the music stopped, and some people started walking, but there wasn't really that many people.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, it was kind of a really touching moment because he's sort of bathing in this thing which he won't have soon. And yeah, he sort of walked around the stage, looked at everyone, people were clapping him, you know. And then he said, you know, "Thank you, I'm going to miss you."
Aww.
It was really touching.
Yeah, I heard from Dean. He said that it was like a sad moment as well.
Yeah, it was genuinely sad because, you know, they could feel like bands have gone on much longer than they're going. You know, they're not the oldest band in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume that Tom Araya, you know, he had some health difficulties. So maybe he's decided. I'm not sure if there's any specific reason why they've decided to pull the plug. But yeah, they've had you know, the drummers not there. They've sort of switched out the drummers, and they've had issues with them. Heinemann died a few years ago, so I don't know specifically what it is, but like, yeah, I think, you know, even if it's something you like have clearly in your mind that you need to quit, you need to stop doing it. It's something that you're definitely going to miss, and it's a touching moment.
Well, definitely, especially if they've been doing it for a really long time as well.
And they're like at the height of their power, basically. I mean, they're not releasing. I think Christ Illusion was probably their last decent album, which was released, you know, probably over a decade ago, maybe. But yeah, they're still at the height of their power. Slayer is still an incredibly important band. Actually, one thing I would like to emphasize, like, there's something in Slayer that brings out the like stupid, dumb people kind of energy in folks. Like,
really?
Yeah, something about Slayer. It gets like a genuine dumb sort of reaction from people. Like,
yeah.
Sort of primal, stupid thing. But yeah, that's something I noticed.
I also wanted to, this is like, I know we're talking about the end, but like, in terms of the beginning though, like, do you find this is what I find, like, when I catch a train out to like these events and stuff, you know how there's like a designated like platform and train? Yeah. I feel like the excitement and stuff, I know this sounds really random, but like, I just wanted to say, sounds like, it's like really exciting when like you get to like the station and you see all the other people in like the metal shirts and stuff. And then when I pull into like Flemington Racecourse Station, and you see like the festival grounds and everyone that's already there, and then you hear the music when you get off the train. When I was like waiting to get in, I think it was either Luca Brasi or I Prevail that was performing at that time, and I like saw the video, not the video, like the screen that they were, you know, showing it on, like the big screen that they had, and I don't know, it just like builds that excitement for the day. But can I do like my rating of like bands from like favorite to least favorite?
Absolutely.
So my favorite was Alice in Chains.
Shock.
Obviously. And then my second favorite was Fever 333. Then Frenzal Rhomb, then Sum 41, and then Converge. So I only saw 5 bands. And yeah, Alice in Chains was definitely number 1. And then yeah, Fever 333 were pretty great as well. I really liked them. It was funny during Fever 333. They, you know, the whole Gladys thing going in Sydney with the music festivals. They said on stage, because they just came from Sydney, they said, "Oh, I heard your government wants to stop things like this." And then Dean standing next to me is like, "That's Sydney. You're in the wrong place. Like, it's fine here." And he was like shouting this out. It was pretty funny. But like, they were saying like, like, "Oh, your government wants to stop things like this," and everyone's like, "Woo!" Like, in terms of like support of the band saying that it was wrong. So that was interesting. But and then Frenzal Rhomb had a song that they said was about doing the night shift at Coles, which everyone laughed about, which is quite funny. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really great. I love going to like festivals and stuff that are at like Flemington Racecourse. It's always a fun time.
Just one sort of note on, but I think it's kind of it was a bit of a weird choice for the finishing bands. Slayer, Ghost, Hailstorm. Not all the same kind of bands, very different in a lot of ways, but they're all kind of in that metal-y. Hailstorm, not as much, but they're all sort of in that metal-y category.
Yeah,
it seemed weird to put like all those bands up against each other.
They did the same thing with Pennywise and Alice in Chains and Polaris. I mean,
no, but they're all kind of different bands. Alice in
Yeah,
Chains,
but
grunge,
let's say
Pennywise,
someone who's
punk,
into punk music.
Polaris.
No, let's say someone who's into punk music, and they're gonna want to see Frenzal Rhomb, Rise Against, Pennywise, Alice in Chains, Sum 41. That would be my punk if I was going to see all of the punk bands.
Punks don't necessarily like Alice in Chains.
Yeah, but
they're not a punk band.
It's related to punk.
Yeah, so is metal.
Well, I thought I was disappointed anyway that they put Polaris, Pennywise, and Alice in Chains on at the same time. No, I was. I legitimately was, because I wanted to see Pennywise as well as Alice in Chains, but couldn't do it.
It just seems like they could have had. Like, I know, obviously, there's probably a lot going on behind the scenes. You got to rank people certain ways.
They did have Ozzy Osbourne drop out, and they would have had to
Was Ozzy Osbourne going to be the headliner?
He was the headliner.
Honestly, that would have been a mistake.
No, he headlined Download in the UK. No, it wasn't that long ago.
But I think Slayer was like the perfect finisher. To have Ozzy Osbourne do it, finish off instead of Slayer.
I feel like if it was Ozzy Osbourne, I would have gone and watched him.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas I didn't watch Slayer.
I know you would have. I know you personally would have.
Yeah.
I'm talking general.
Well, I would have gone and seen Ozzy Osbourne, and I would have actually watched it. Whereas I was finished after 8:10. I didn't watch any of the last three bands.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like, obviously there's a lot of festival stuff goes on. It's difficult. I just feel like they could have arranged it a little better.
Well, it's hard to please everyone. Like, you can't please everyone.
I know. But, I feel like arranging the three bands at the end.
Yeah, well, like I said, they arranged those other three bands.
They should have had a punk band at the end as well. So kind of like, hey, here's your different stuff.
They did that at Download last year. They had Korn and NoFX on at the same time. But that was problematic for me because I wanted to see both bands. Because I wanted to see NoFX for a really long time, because I've been a fan of them for a long time. But I also wanted to see Korn, because I've been a fan of Korn for like a couple of years and stuff. So putting them on it was very conflicting on who I could watch. So in the end, I didn't really enjoy either of them because I was just darting back and forth.
I don't know, it kind of strikes me. This is still not as big as Soundwave. So
I never went to Soundwave.
So Soundwave had at least, I think it was 3 or 4 different areas, whereas this basically has 2.
What do you mean?
So it's got the Avalanche, Dogtooth.
There's 5 stages.
It's Ascension stage. It's kind of just a random stage they've added.
Yeah, it's...
but like to the Black.
What are you
Black
saying?
And
like
Red
it doesn't matter.
Black and Red are basically one grouping. Avalanche, Dogtooth are one grouping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Download,
the
area, the punk area, the hardcore area.
The Dogtooth and Avalanche weren't paired together, really.
Well, I know you can...
Because you can easily walk from the Black and Red stage to Avalanche.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm just saying is, like, if you wanted to pair something up and have like, hey, here's the place for metal, like they did, they would have Gojira,
yeah,
then what was it, Gojira, then Mastodon, and Meshuggah. Like, it was just this one area where you're like, all right, there's all these different bands. Whereas they have Ruins, and then the next band is War on Women, which is like a totally different kind of band.
Yeah.
It just seemed like they're kind of all over the place.
Well, they had good things at Flemington Racecourse as well, and they also paired. Like, I don't know if they were black and red coloured, but they had those 2 stages like that, and then they had like the Dogtooth and the other one. They had another stage. It was similar, but they only had 4 stages, but they also had a similar setup. So that's sort of how you have to set it up at Flemington.
Yeah. Anyway, any final comments before we finish it up?
No, I just really enjoyed it. And do you plan on going back next year? I think I'll be going back next year.
Honestly, probably not. Unless they have... This is the only reason I went to see Judas Priest and Slayer, because I might never see them again.
Lame. Well, I'll probably be going back next year.
Because, like, it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
For what? 4 bands I really wanted to see, and 2 bands, I saw because they were there. It's a lot of money for that.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but the thing about, like, I just love going to festivals. I think that it's just really fun to hang out at a festival.
Well, festivals, they kind of suck.
The only thing I don't like about them is just like the food lines are too long and the toilets are disgusting.
The fucking merchandise is ridiculous.
I didn't buy any merch. It was too expensive.
I was waiting for half an hour, and it wasn't the long lines. There was about 5 people in front of me, and I was waiting for half an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Usually you wait in the merch line, and that's why, because the merch line's really long.
What they need to do for merchandise, seriously, this will fix it, or at least kind of ease up the tensions. They need, so you know how everyone just lines up wherever?
Well, they sort of have like disorganized lines. Yeah, they're sort of lines.
So they need cordoned off lines.
Yeah.
So then people sort of filter into those lines, and one person's serving them, so they know what's going on. Because like I'll stand there, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Am I going to be served, or am I just waiting here for no particular reason? So I was waiting there for like 10 minutes, and there was like 1 or 2 people in front of me.
Yeah,
that's frustrating. And I get it takes a long time. That's fine. I'm happy to wait. But like we need cordoned off lines. So it's like, hey, you are in this line. You are being served by someone, or so someone's serving the people in front of you, and you filter through this line, and you'll get there eventually. Like, that would be so much better, as opposed to like, am I in a line? Is people serving me? Or are they serving like the 2 people beside me? It's just too hectic.
You should have gone there when it was early, because you rocked up when the gates opened. You should have gone straight to the merch then.
No, there was way more people at the merch when I rocked up.
Oh, really?
So when I went there, I'm like, oh, there's barely any people in the merch line. No, there's still lots, but like there's like a row of like 5 people, which isn't much for the merch line download. And so I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's fine. I'm all good, but like took forever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
I've stood in merch lines for like half an hour before, but that's because the line was really long.
Yeah,
like there's like 5 or 6 really long lines, and you just have to stand at the back of one of them.
As I said, happy to wait, but it's a frustrating experience when you're not clear. There's this whole sort of systems analysis of queues. They call them queues. And like, how to best handle a queue? Do you split them up into multiple? Do you have them all filter along in one big line? And they're served by multiple.
Someone take a ticket and then gets called.
Yeah, exactly. All those
that's what they have at the they had at Foo Fighters the last time I saw them at the cloakroom, but it was crazy.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways to handle it, but I think the main thing is you need people with the idea that they're going to be served, and there's a clear way that they're going to be served. No ambiguity, otherwise that's really frustrating.
I'll tell you what always happens to me. I usually try and stand in the line that I think is going to be the quickest, and it ends up being the longest.
Yeah.
It happens to me all the time. And then like the longer line ends up going through quicker than the one I was in. And
yeah. So, also being at a festival, I feel old because I'm like, I'm tired. my feet and back are sore.
That's why you like lay on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was laying on the ground during Judas Priest.
I was laying on the ground during Slayer.
I was watching them on the screen from the other side.
Oh, really?
Actually,
I sort of did that during Slayer a bit.
That brings me, I think, possibly to our last point.
Yeah.
I think the way that the Dogtooth stage, cool. They got the stage and a long section of place. The Avalanche stage, possibly not as good, because when you went there, was it crowded? Looks like there's not enough room for everyone.
No, I think there's enough room. It was alright, yeah.
It's alright. Well, the thing is, you're not having as big a bands there, so it's not necessarily... The Red and the Black stage, I have massive issues with the way they handle them. It might be just because it's the way they need to do it, because like, there's buildings there or something, but like it should be more space at the back, so you can have like an area where like you can lie down and still see the screen or something.
Well, I mean, like there's a lot of people who... You know, they stand a really long way back. So even though they're standing back, there's all these gaps and stuff in between.
Yeah, that's fine. But, like, they need, like, more area for people to sort of go back. It feels like...
Maybe they should have a seating area.
Well, seating area, totally. But like, I don't think it's going to happen. But, like, they need space for people... Because it feels like it sort of crashes into the bar. I'm like, is the bar there, or do they put the bar there because they want to make money?
I don't know.
So if they put the bar there...
Are you talking about those like things that were in the middle there at the back, like the merch and the bar and all of that?
Yeah.
ATMs.
Yeah, if they don't have to put that there, they need to move it. That is incredibly frustrating, because it feels like there needs to be more space so people can kind of have... That's the whole point of a festival, like... it's kind of more chill environment, and you can't have a chill environment if there's nowhere to kind of like lay down or sit down.
You could. There was next to the bar. I was sitting there for ages.
No, but like, there's enough room to like do that and still have a look.
I mean, you couldn't see the band really,
exactly.
But you could see the screen if people didn't stand in front of you.
The screen was in hidden by some of the tents, and so if they can move them, they should move them, because that's incredible. I think that disrupts the festival sort of environment. Like that.
Maybe
you
should write them a letter and say this is how you can do it better.
Listen. But if it's because the it's because like they have to be there, that's fine. My criticism's no good. But yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, any last thoughts? I think I've said all mine.
Yeah. I think that I've said everything as well.
All right, cool. Ellen, thanks so much for chatting to me.
Thanks for having me again.
Bye.